Hello off-grid fans. Well, it turns out that this video is going to be a two-parter because I can waffle on, so I'm having to record another little bit to explain, and then also having just edited the first round, I keep noticing I keep looking to this side of my camera rather than this side where the lens is, so it makes me look all cross-eyed, which is all good. But yeah, I'm not a YouTuber with a fancy studio look. I've got these are my wires that come down from my solar with bits of eye test things put in because, well, yeah, I needed them, and dog's ear laid next to me, and then all this tape is because it's winter, so I've blocked off the cab to give me more insulation, so the backdrop you see is reality, and there. That's it. I'll try and remember to look at this side of the camera rather than this side where all the sort of controls are. But anyway, the next bit, because I waffle on and wow, this is just the introduction and we're already it's going to be more than a minute and a half. You're just wasting your time. I don't really know why anyone's watching, but there we are. Not really what I should be saying. Starting up a YouTube channel. But look, this is real life. This isn't fake. This is me living. So anyway, the next bit, and you'll see the completion of this project, and maybe some more dodgy SpongeBob memes. But maybe you'll learn something. Maybe it'll be helpful. The system has changed the way that I live. It's got that much power all the time. Now the solar's kicking in. When I recorded this, I got 8 kilowatt hours for the entire month of January. Even on a rainy day today, I got almost 2 kilowatts. So let's see. Let's 1.83. Can you see that? So yeah, now that there's actually the solar's kicking in, I don't really need the inverter charger. But that was the thing, so I could come up here earlier in February rather than in March. Anyway, lots of shit happened, and here's the rest of the video, having wasted another nearly 3 minutes of your life.
Flashback.
I thought I'd cover this bit of my upgrade because it's quite critical when you're using big.
A few minutes later.
Big amperage cable is to get a correct crimp and have the right sort of crimp. So here is what I've got to do. So these are my big crimps. These are my big cable cutters, and these are the high quality copper terminals, all correctly sized. And this is where I could really do with a tripod. I think that's the best I can do. So correct size end. And the one I've chosen to show, I've actually cut off a bit too much of the casing, but that's not the important bit. Hope you can see this. So I'll get it all lined up, make sure it's in. Not a good crimp. If you look, I've missed completely. trying too hard for you to have a good view and not for me to have a good view. So anyway, I sorted that cable out and now it's on here. So this is my, supposed to be tidied the wires up, but it's not really worked. But I have upgraded the wires. So even though it's one pack, I've gone for 2 fuses. That's 250 amp mega fuses. More on the size of the holders. I've then run 2 35mm cables, each 300 amps, so 600 amps to a 500 amp shunt. Bearing in mind the fuses are 2 250s, that's 500 amps, same as the shunt. And then these 2 35mm cables here, they are the sort of 600 amps. They are dedicated for the inverters. And then this 35mm goes into another 250 amp fuse into the 100 amp BMS, and I have 2 16mm cables coming out of the BMS, 110 amps each, so 200 amps, 100 amp BMS is double. So I can get this Hall effect sensor into even 3, in fact even 4 16mm cables, but it wouldn't go through 2 35s. So I might replace this with 1 95, because I'd quite like to run that Hall effect sensor. I know I've got the Victron shunt here, but if you look at the display, it's not, it has everything, but you've got to cycle through to look at all the different things, whereas this screen, which gives similar information to this other shunt here, this is my favourite display, is what I used before, has all the information, won't be as accurate. The reason I got the Victron is I wanted accuracy, and that has charge efficiencies, Puka coefficients that you can set for your battery, so that your shunt is easier. With this shunt, which is just a straight Coulomb counter one way or the other, no efficiency is taken into place. What I get is, I think after it's been cycling for a month, I can be 15-20% out, and the only way to reset it is to go all the way back up to 100%. Should really turn it around. The other way to reset the Victron is to go to
1 minute 37 seconds later.
So yeah, to go back to full charge. Now you do have to do the same with the Victron, but with the factors that you can put in, it should be more accurate. So that's what I'm aiming for, to be able to tune that to the accuracy for my bank. But I still want the other one that I know, and I know how to interpret, and it's got all the information there. So I've got to do a little bit of change in there. So everything before was sort of on top of the heater. I've put some insulation. I've changed ways. I've got a positive bus bar here. I know it's not far from there, but that's the one where basically it combines all of the cells into here, and I could have run everything from there, and probably should, but I had this other bus bar, so I thought, oh, I'll bridge it and it'll mean that I've got lower voltage drops. But I think it's just created more mess. Anyway, the negative bus bars are down here, and I've got various bits of wood. So basically this is the charge controller. This will be on the back of something here. I'll be able to get in by pulling this cupboard down. I'm just shortening this this bench to about here, and creating a little cupboard that comes up to here, up to the height of the window, for my various electronic stuff and gauges and whatever. So I am procrastinating. It's taken me, I think this is getting into week 3, but I've just done a little bit every day, and it's a bit hard when I'm trying to live in the van as well, and then, you know, dogs there keeping out the way, but this is where I normally sit. So yeah, we're a bit tight and compact, but we're getting there. We're getting there, and it's working quite well. I'm on the new Victron Inverter Charger now, and here I'm plugged into to economy 7, so at night it can charge up the battery bank, and then I even yeah, sorry, just press the wrong button. I'm even running a little 700 watt oil filled radiator 24/7 off the battery bank, and then charging up with economy 7. It's also quite good to then cycle the batteries and get a bit of heat into them. Talking of heat into batteries, one of the things with lithium is you need not to charge when they are cold. I'm inside, this is where the heater is, so these don't, but this is the temperature sender from the Victron inverter, that when you tell the Victron inverter it's lithium, turns off all temperature correction rather than stopping it charging below freezing. And then this temperature sender is from the MPPT, which does, even though the BMS won't allow charge, and that's got a temperature. There's a little temperature sender down here, down the front of this battery pack. Ideally it should be taped to a battery, but it's not very long, it's not unpluggable, and I need to be able to shift this and lift the hardboard off to get underneath. So yeah, but it does have a temperature sender and won't charge, but the charge controller also has a temperature sender which you can set up to not charge below freezing for lithium, so that's quite good.
Several days later.
Well, now we're back in the future now. Well, in the past for you, it's March the 8th. For me, the filming was done a month ago. This is part 2. It's going to be sometime mid-February, but God, I've not done anything about actually installing this inverter charger other than showing you how to crimp. I'm obviously not a right good YouTuber. I don't have any scripts and stuff. I'm still looking at the wrong side of my camera. Anyway, tune in next week, next Friday, and maybe in part 3 I'll actually get to finish stuff rather than just going off on tangents and talking about temperatures and using economy 7 to heat my van while I was playing around with stuff and had plug in. And anyway, see you next week.